Hi, this is Jim Jubak for Jubak Asset Management YouTube videos. Today's my day for hot money moves now, and I'm going to give you one of those. Now, if you follow the packages of sort of the clumps of videos that I do, the lead of the clump of this week was about how complacent this market is and how worried I am about that complacency. Well, one place where all the action seems to be going on and where there is not very much complacency is at the extreme long end of the bond market, not really at the 3, 6 month, 5-year, 10-year even, but at the 30-year level. We're getting big moves out there because the world, investors in the US as well as investors in the world, are worried about the long-term, rising U.S. deficits, the increasing amount of money that needs to go to just pay the interest on the debt, inability of Congress to even pass a budget on anything resembling real time. So the action is coming in the long term, the 30s. And if you want to, you can actually go out and you can short Treasuries. You can short a Treasury fund. You can do that in the options market. You can buy puts. But I think the problem with looking at that is that buying an option on Treasuries seems to be relatively short-term play. So you're trying to get the timing right as well as the direction. So I'd actually suggest using the ProShares short 20-plus year Treasury. And this is an ETF that follows the ICE U.S. Treasury 20-plus bond index, which is composed of bonds with maturities of 20 years or more, and it attempts to go up as that index goes down. So basically, you're buying this as a way to bet that the yield on 30 years is going to go up as people demand more yield to take on the higher risk of U.S. fiscal irresponsibility. So it's not a cheap fund because it's very actively managed. So you're looking at an expense ratio about 0.95%. The ticker here is TBF. It was up 16.3% in 2024. It's up about 2.60 year to date in 2025. The last 3 months, however, it's up 3.98%. So you're seeing a lot of sort of momentum for this play. I've got a violin playing in the background. I don't know where that came from. We've got a gondola that goes right past here, and sometimes the gondoliers will sing, and I've never heard them play a violin. But there's also a violinist who plays on the street on the campo around the corner from us. So maybe that's what you're hearing in the background. I'm not going to stop this video. I think it's a lovely way to enhance the video. Anyway, so I'm going to be adding this to the Volatility Portfolio this week. As I said, the ticker is TBF. I'm looking for this as a way to hedge the risk in the Treasury market to make some money as yields on the long end of the Treasury go up because people are not really that interested in holding U.S. Treasuries at the 30-year level. That's where I think the action is. So if you want to do that, or if you just want to follow along for a while to figure out exactly how this plays, because every time you do a new instrument, especially on the short end, it's really good to figure out the dynamics of that. I might look to get to put on a short position in this ETF around. Well, I think it looks like, assuming the Republican majority in the House manages to get its act together, which is a big assumption at the moment, and pass a spending bill that looks like it'll go through the Senate on reconciliation. You might want to wait until they've actually done that. I wouldn't wait until the Senate to act, because the Senate may or may not act, any kind of reasonable faction. But if we get a bill out of the House, I think that will even though it's a terrible bill for all kinds of economic reasons, but I think that might be a good time to put on a short on the 30-year Treasuries, because I think you have some optimism that this is going to solve the problem. So look at it. Look at doing it around that time frame, and see how. So maybe the end of May, you want to be looking at putting on the short-term trade. I'm going to put it on early. We'll be able to track it and see how it does. Okay, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. That way you get notification of when we're doing the next one. We're doing about 3 a week. Sign up to get the notification is free. If you want more free stuff, that's jubakpicks.com. That's 1-2 posts a day, 3 portfolios, not the volatility portfolio, but 12 to 18 months, as well as 5 years and dividends. Or if you want even more of my stuff, those 3 portfolios plus 3 more, which is the volatility portfolio where I'm putting on this trade, where I put on the VIX options trade recently to look for volatility there. ETFs and really long-term, 10, 20, 30-year holding periods. Find those portfolios on the jubakam.com site, paid site subscription. Last thing is that my wife and I moved to Italy in September of 2023. We're publishing a Substack called We Moved to Italy. Strange name. So that's free, and you can follow our adventures and read about Italian food, culture, trips to Mantova, our months in Sicily, living on the slopes of the Etna volcano. All that stuff free. The paid and free stuff is all, the links to all that is down below. Thanks for watching.